What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again for another episode of Lights, Camera, Collect. Every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. It's usually a one-on-one chat, and you can see here, I got an amazing co-host for this evening, Anthony from Sixscalemafia, the new owner of Bespin Leia from Hot Toys. Dude, how you doing tonight, man? I know you're excited. I'm shipping out your figure tomorrow, so I'm excited.
I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
I know it's coming, so it's all good, man. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here, man. It's cool. Little one-on-one.
Yeah, man. It'll be a chat. Maybe I should change the theme here because we got something a little bit different because that's usually the collector's mingle one. So I want to keep
change it up.
We could also put us in fire, but that's kind of intense. So probably don't want to do that.
Ooh, that's angry.
Right. Feeling hot already. That's why I wore the tank, bro. Where's your tank tonight? Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I didn't wear one. I know,
bro. It's supposed to be double tank. I was hoping you would come through.
I didn't know it was gonna be double tank because if I received a package.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It's not the Leia because I didn't ship it yet. But oh, is it a hot toy? Is this a live unboxing at this point?
Is this what this is?
Is it?
Should we see what this is? I mean,
do you know what it is? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. I have some idea, but no.
Well, maybe while you're unboxing, I'll address the chat real quick.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll open it up.
Yeah. So, guys, we got an amazing show for you tonight. We're going to talk about the Hot Toys Kate Bishop. We're going to talk about that photo they teased of all the things coming soon. We're going to talk about a lot of different big picture topics because we like to get very philosophical on this Friday show. So we're going to do that tonight. Jazzy, damn, bro, still this early? I'm at work. Yeah, man. I literally just got off work like an hour ago. So I'm here. Tukathri, what's up, gentlemen? Riley Reviews. Let's go. Riley. I love Riley, man.
What's up, Riley?
One of the most genuine guys, seriously, out there. JC, Hot Toys give us C3PO. Dude, I wish, man. I wish. That 2-pack would sell. Figure-astic Park. Hey, everyone. Maniac UK. Doc Smizzle in the house. Treat him like Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, bro. Get the hashtag rolling. Bob Dylan. Yo, Bob Dylan. What is up? Dr. Dylan. Shao. Maniac UK. Fig Fate. What's up, Fig Fate? King Dingaling. Dude, I always miss seeing King Dingaling in the chat.
Hell
That dude is awesome. Riley Reviews. Thumbnail looks like some LA traffic. Yeah, dude, it's like me flying into LAX, man. That's what it's going to look like. So, or I was trying to leave LAX. Two colleagues, shout out to Exo6 and Star Race Horse. Dude, 100%.
Right.
Two great things right there. Or did you get some comics, Anthony?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, he sent me a little bit of some comics.
Oh, okay.
Which is a bonus.
Nice. Mr. Haibu127 in the house. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. Hope you're having a great Friday as well, Ibu. Sorry, Ibu. I was going to say Haibu. It's Ibu, though. Universal Key. Evening, everyone. SSJ Starlord. Uncommon Flex. What's up, bros? Single songwriter in the house. Yo, Starbucks and 6Scale. Joe Augustin. Joe, what's up, man? How's it going? Collectible chats. Good evening, everybody. Love is love. Absolutely. Sean Forrester. Happy Friday. Let's go. Yeah, we're going, bro. We got this. Anthony, what's in the box, man?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the box? What is it? Oh, you did not get a Royal Guard, bro.
I did. From a friend.
Oh, he sold it to you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, something like that.
Did he give you a reasonable price?
Yeah, I just did some work.
Oh, that's even better. That's a reasonable price.
Yeah, that is even better.
Is that your first Royal Guard? Do you have some others?
No, it is my first. So pretty excited. I know I didn't mean to hijack that, but pretty cool. Just literally my roommate brought it in. I was like, oh, looks like it came to the door. So bam.
That's awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Very badass.
I don't have a Royal Guard, but I do have two Praetorian Guards, and they're pretty close. So
they're pretty cool, actually.
I love it. I wish I got more.
Yeah. Did they did like, am I tripping? Did they do two versions or
they did two versions? Yeah.
That's what I
thought. Each version you can display in two different ways. So,
So it's two different SKUs, right? It's different MMSs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a double blade and a single blade version. Yeah. Or heavy blade, they call it.
So weird that they, when you look at Hot Toys now, right?
Right back there. Yeah.
Yeah. But isn't that kind of funky when you think about it? Because it's like nowadays you're like, they would never do something like that.
And dude, they were like 204 a piece. Yeah. That's pretty wild. Minimum figures 235 now. So no way you're getting even close to 204.
Yeah, that's a little tough, man.
And I think Leia was too. Bestman Leia was like 204 or something like that.
Yeah.
She was like really cheap.
Yeah, she was cheap.
That's pretty
good
crazy.
Old days.
I know, right? But Anthony, we're going to jump straight into this because we got to talk about something that was just announced, I think yesterday or today. I think it was yesterday, right? The Kate Bishop figure. Yeah,
Wednesday.
from Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, because this figure, Anthony, this has been long awaited by, I think, a decent amount of people because the Hawkeye show was pretty successful, I feel like, overall. I think the ratings were a little bit lower compared to some of the other Marvel shows because it is Hawkeye. He's still cool, he's still popular, but he's not quite, Loki or Winter Soldier or Falcon or, he's not quite that level, or Wanda. He's, Hawkeye's not. But Kate Bishop was a star of the show, very much a standout of the show. And this figure comes out, I think, $270. Comes with a nice bow, some accessories, some arrows, a really cool outfit, and a really nice head sculpt, I think. I'm going to go on a limb, though, Anthony, and say I think a lot of people are going to say they want this, but then when it comes out, they're not going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Unless maybe it drops in price. Because it's really good. The figure's great, but it's just there's so much competition right now. You know what I mean?
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of reasons here, man. And I knew prior to the release, when we looked at the tease, because the tease was like Tuesday night, and I did my live stream then, and I thought, you know what, this is probably going to be 270. I just know it. It's like the new norm, and it's kind of like, and then sure shit, it's 270. So it's like, that's kind of a lot with tax and shipping. You're at $300, $310, and I feel like you're right. I don't think a lot of people are going to get her. The likeness isn't quite there. For one, right? A lot of people are saying she looks a little bit of an older version of her than, because she is younger. And I get that, the expressions are kind of tough to do, right? So if you want to try to make, with 6-scale figures and to an extent in statues, expressions are kind of rough, right? Because once you're in it, you're in it. You have to make sure that expression is perfect because you can't change it, So I get why they kind of do these neutral stares, but she looks a little bit, not quite there, right? So I get it. And the other part about it is that this is 5-6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the ship has kind of sailed on this, right? People are already on the Moon Knight, things like that. And it's not to say that, people who are fans of the show aren't looking forward to it. But you're right, man. This is just another pre-order that we're collecting. 130 something figures, right? So
yeah,
when the time comes, is this the one? I'm sure it's a market for somebody, but I don't know. That's tough,
right,
man.
I think you make really good points, Anthony. I do think this is pretty late. They were pretty late with the Loki figures too, and with those, I feel like that kind of goes the same route, like Loki and Sylvie. I think they're kind of going to go the same boat, where they're like, those are coming out way later. The show was pretty popular, but it's not like everyone needs that specific Loki and that Sylvie, right? So I think it's the same kind of deal. Like as much as, I might end up with that Sylvie because I do really like Sylvie, and that Loki, I already canceled that one because I'm getting the Avengers Endgame Loki and I have Dark World, and do I really need another one? I ultimately decided no. But I think this goes the same route, man. This is like also like an Eternals figure to me in terms of like, it's going to fall under the radar for most people. I think it's like, it's kind of late in the game. It's just like not a one-off, but like someone was also saying that there could easily be another 1 or 2 Kate Bishops that pop up before this comes out. Like, she could be in other properties and show up in other things with a different outfit. Maybe there's another one they announced and you already pre-ordered this one. This one is pretty cool, but there could easily be another Kate Bishop that drops for pre-order before this one releases.
You think though?
If she's going to be a plan move, it's kind of like Yelena to me. You know what I mean? Like Yelena is definitely going to be around. So, and they already have the head sculpt, so it'd be easy to remake her.
They could bring her in on this, but I just feel like they're so behind. So that's why this took so long to show up, right? Because this should have came out months ago. They teased the Moon Knight before the show even aired,
right?
And then the next day they put out the announcement photo. So it was like, it's just hard because you have to, the way I look at things is that you have to really, maybe you don't have to, but for me anyway, and I think for most collectors, that you really have to like the character of whatever it is. And not to say that she's not a great character, but again, prices are going up, so now we're dropping $3 on a figure. Do you really, really like Kate Bishop, right? If you do, then hell yeah, get her in 2 years. But with all these other options coming, it's tough, right? This is more for the diehard fans. Like 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't so bad when they're like $200 or $190. Right. You could be like, all right, I could grab this, but now we're getting all these all these figures from all these properties just bombarding us, with these pre-orders that are, $300 a pop. It's like, you gotta be you have to be a little choosy. So again, I think if you're like a diehard fan, then yeah, this is cool. But for me also, bro, I'm pretty much out of a lot of the Marvel stuff. There's a select few I'll keep, but probably not gonna get her, to be honest.
I think I'm pretty positive I'm not going to. Not taking anything away from the figure. I do think it looks pretty good overall. I understand what you're saying about the head sculpt. I definitely don't think it's a 10, but I think it's like a 9. Like I'd be happy with it. Like I would look at this and be like, okay, it's there. It's not quite 100, but they could refine it, kind of like Wasp. Remember Wasp, for example, her proto?
Wasp was, well, I'd say it's more like a 7, dude. Just because, like, when you mentioned Loki and Sylvie, and then you have Casca Reeves, Fennec Shand, those 4 figures are current upcoming releases, and they've done a really good job with the sculpts and the sculpted hair.
Yeah.
So I feel in comparison, I'm only comparing to them because those are current, just like these are like 2021, 2022 announcements, that this isn't quite like those 4, right? Like when I see those, I'm like, wow, those look really, really, really good. This one looks like good. So for me, but again, it's all, subjective, but I feel like those, like, just for the hair alone, their other hairs looked phenomenal on those figures. So this one looks okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's like 7 or 8, man. It's not horrible by any stretch. And you're right. They could do improvements. They could. So, I mean, we'll see. And, we'll go from there, but not bad. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that Hawkeye that's teased right there.
I know. That'll be cool too. But that's another, dude. It's interesting, Anthony. Like it's, like, again, with the competition that people have going on now, like with InArt coming into the game, that Joker sculpted hair is like what, the same price as this? Yeah. So I mean, that's they're not coming out at the same time, right? But that's an easy choice for a lot of people, right? So those are going to be the type of decisions people have to make. And say they announce a Cad Bane, he's probably an easy choice for most people over this. I would think.
Well, Cad Bane's going to be a no-brainer. One, just because of the popularity of the character, but 2, they're not really going after the likeness of an actor.
True.
Right? They're just going off the CG render of Cad Bane from the Book of Boba Fett. So they'll nail that. That's going to look phenomenal.
Yeah, it'll look great.
And that's like a no-brainer sale. Like, that's where people... So if you put these 2 together, and if you're a hot toy collector, not just Star Wars or Marvel, just if you're into hot toys, I think the Cad Bane would be a no-brainer in comparison. Yeah,
I think so too. And but this is a good figure overall. Like, I think it's a nice one, but I'm just worried about it because I really hope that it would sell, but because I do like the character and I think she's pretty awesome, but she's just coming out in a tough time, man.
Yeah,
it's not Hot Toys' fault. There's an oversaturation of good things right now. So
there is. There just is. Yeah. So we, Anthony, I want to zoom in on this one because Hot Toys show, they do this from time to time, where they say, okay, we got some figures that are coming out soon. So let's tease a little bit, get you all a little bit excited there, tickle your fancy, your collector fancy there, and see kind of, give you a little sneak peek at what's coming soon. So I'm interested in this because there are a decent amount of figures here in this picture that I am fairly interested in. For one, I mean, I'm getting the Tumbler. I'm pretty confident in that. The Mark V diecast, Miles Morales up here. Taskmaster I ended up canceling, so I think I'm going to pass on the Taskmaster, but it is really nice. Moff Gideon I'm super excited for. I know a lot of people are excited for this. Luke, Transport Trooper, Comic Iron Man, Anakin with Stap. Is there anything, Anthony, here that really jumps out to you? Like, are you excited for any of these releases? Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm getting 6 out of these 12.
6 out of the 12?
Yeah.
Is it all the Star Wars characters?
Well, I'll tell you, there's 5 Star Wars.
Okay.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, Luke, the Trooper, Moff Gideon, Django, Anakin, and comic book Iron Man.
Oh, you're getting the comic Iron Man. He still looks like he has the plastic on.
He still has it on there. He still has it on there. There's just that lighting is weird, but you can tell... At least I can. There is plastic there. It's very translucent, so it's not, but the concern is it gonna yellow and stain over time or whatever? I'm still getting it. I've said this since the day they announced this photo. As soon as they showed this off, I was like, I'm just gonna cut it off. I'll just use a tool and buzz it. I'll just break it. I don't care. It's my figure. And if it's doable, I'm taking all that plastic gunk off, and you make it clean. And if not, whatever, still getting it. But Yeah, it's interesting, and I know some of the new collectors. I sent you a picture If you want to look at it, you can. But
yeah, I'll pull it up.
A lot of collectors were asked, hey, this is weird. Hot Toys do this? I'm like, yeah, Hot Toys does this. Okay, they didn't do it last year, which I thought they did. I thought it was April of 2021. This whole like pandemic screwed me up. But and this was cool because Big Bretta Joao sent me this because he's like, here's the whole one. I was like, yeah, I remember, but I thought the last year's one was last year, but it wasn't. It was 2020. So with the in-game cap and all that. But see, they've done these a lot, so it's kind of neat to look back on some, like some of these older photos. You're like, wow. But yeah, a lot of collectors I don't think knew that Hot Toys does do this usually for. It's like a summer event, sort of. It's not like the summer showcase with the Toy Fair exclusives and all that, but usually right around, late spring, early summer, they put these like we're seeing now, the most recent, like the upcoming release. That's interesting, right? Looking back at some of that stuff, man.
It's usually small too. They have like maybe 4 or 5 figures or something like that, or 6. Yeah. Like it's not much.
And now, I mean, like these past couple been quite a bit. I mean,
yeah, compared to what it is now, like it's there's a ton on here. So there's what, like you said, 12, right? So
12 plus the tumbler.
Nobody wants that little carnage though.
It's huge in Japan.
Is it really? Is it?
Well, yeah, they're Japanese releases. They did the Venom, they did the anti-Venom, the white one, and then the Carnage.
Yeah.
They're exclusive too. Like Sideshow won't sell them. I mean, of course, we can order them overseas, but
right.
That's why most people don't know what these are because they're not really relevant to the States. They're not advertised here. But yeah, you're right. Some people will get it though. Some people will dig it, but yeah, and I don't know. And the other stuff doesn't look bad. Don't get me wrong. Like it's just, I'm not really trying to go too far out in different lanes, right? Because I am getting rid of a lot of my Marvel. So I may consider one of the Miles, but then I'm like, nah, because I'm getting rid, So it's hard. You need to. It's not that I don't want any of these, right? If I had all the space in the world and money wasn't an issue, of course I would get everything in this image. But you have to kind of, you have to pick and choose, and it sucks sometimes. Lale asked me that. He's like, well, how do you do it? It's like, because you can look at something and be like, wow, yeah, that looks awesome. But then you just have to have the willpower to be like, as amazing as this figure looks, it's not part of my collection. It can be, but you have to.
Right.
You know how it goes. You got to curate, and there's some liberation involved there as well.
Yeah, there is. Dude, I've been doing it lately, and there's some liberation in curating like that. Absolutely. But there's a handful of figures, like I said, that I'm going to end up getting. Like I said, the Tumbler, the Batman there, the Mark V, and I think Miles, and then Moff Gideon. So I'm at 5 out of this 12. So I'm with you there. Like, and Miles though is kind of iffy right now. I'm kind of like going back and forth on Miles a little bit. I do really, I think, want that Miles because I love Spider-Verse. I really do. I'm getting rid of Gwen though. I do know that. I am going to sell Gwen. So, but Miles I might just be able to keep and just make it work. But the Mark V I definitely want. I really want the Mark V. And the Tumbler and Batman, I'm definitely going to get those. And a Moff Gideon, I'm super excited for. So. Really hope they get the sculpt right with the Moff Gideon, but I'm sure they will. But dude, I think this is cool that Hot Toys does this. They kind of give you a tease of what's to come. One glaring omission though is Loki, because he's
sunk in the ocean somewhere.
Clearly, bro. I don't know, but they delayed. He was about to come out, then he didn't, and now he's coming out like November or September through November. But you would think if he's coming out in Q3, he'd probably be on this list. But maybe he's coming out next year or something.
Well, the weird thing is they delayed some of these too, right? We just got an email for Snowspeeder Luke and I think Anakin and Django. Obviously, a few weeks ago got the delay.
Yeah.
As Doc Smizzle just pointed out as well. Yeah, Cable is indeed missing. Cable was delayed.
I canceled him actually. Yeah.
Damn, really? See, I'm still gonna get him. I have to get him.
Yeah. I was curating. I know Mario canceled his too. So I was curating a little bit, and I was like, I went back and forth on Cable quite a bit because it is an amazing looking figure. But I was like, it was one of those, like you said, Anthony, and I was like, it's an amazing looking figure, but I don't know that I need it right now. So
sure, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah. That's just for me. I have Cable tattooed on me.
Yeah, that's
same with Deadpool. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know what I want? I need to have, and even though it's like movie-ish, it doesn't matter to me. It's Cable with my zombie Deadpool. I'm just gonna put Cable and Deadpool together.
Right.
That's cool to me, so you can mix things up. But and I'll say the other thing. I think it's a great time if to be a Dark Knight trilogy fan.
It is.
Because seldomly, and I spoke about this, I think on Brother Cousins last night, was that it's very rare where we have an opportunity to get this whole like smorgasbord of content for something, right? Because like we had gotten, I mean, the DeLorean's been forever, right? So they gave us a Doc or a Marty 2.0 Marty, which was strange, right? Because he was out in 3 weeks, bro, since announcement.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, you don't have to wait a year and a half. Here he is. You know what I mean?
Here you go.
So, but then we have to wait a year and a half for the Doc, right? Now they announced the Back to the Future 2 DeLorean, conversion, hover conversion, and that's a year and a half out to you. So it sucks, right? But then you get something like this Dark Knight thing, and you're like, well, here's Batman, here's DX19 for you. Oh, and next week, here's the Tumbler. And not that long ago, right, was the Bat Pot. Like, it's nice to be able to be in a franchise where you can. It reminds me of like being a kid and going to the store back in the day. You're buying your figures and you get the vehicle accessory. All that's there, and it's really cool to be able to get all this now, right? Instead of like in my case, I'm waiting for all this Back to the Future stuff, and it's like peppered throughout 3 years. It's like, dude. Yeah. Of course, I don't like the Dark Knight, but you know what I mean? Like, it's cool for people who do. And I'm like, damn, that's exciting. I wish.
Because for me, bro, I'm getting the DX19 there, and I'm getting the Tumbler, and I'm also getting the Joker 2-pack, the NR Joker 2-pack. So
same, I did get the Joker.
If Hot Toys makes a Bane, I'm probably gonna get it. I don't know. It's gonna be iffy because I have the Prime 1 Bane. So I just moved it around last night. It's an amazing piece. I really love it. Do I need the Hot Toys? I don't know. If they remake it, it's gonna be tempting. So we'll just have to see how I feel about it. But you're right. It's a really good time to be a Dark Knight fan. I don't collect any DC actually as of now. The only other DC figure that I'll have as of now is Cyborg. So. Because Cyborg, I just feel like is such a unique figure that you can't pass up on it. It's too unique. I don't really need the rest of the Justice League line per se. I just need that Cyborg, I feel like. It's just a beautiful figure. And I want to support figures like that in terms of like figures that maybe wouldn't have gotten made if not for community outreach and outrage. So I think that's pretty cool. So I want to support that Cyborg figure.
That's not going to drive you crazy?
Nah.
Just having Cyborg and not having the Justice
League?
I'll
find a way to make him stand out in the collection. So it's going to be badass.
I suppose you could.
Yeah, Cyborg's dude. He's going to be such a nice figure that I think you could put him on his own. He's going to look incredible. Yeah. So
yeah, he is really unique, and I get that. I like to support those. Just the unique. That's why I love, and that's the other thing that got delayed. The Venomized Iron Man.
Yeah.
I want stuff like that, and like my zombie Deadpool because I love Marvel zombies, but that's also something unique.
Right.
Those are the types of figures, in my opinion, that really stand out. You get something that's not, as much as I love my Star Wars, I will continue to pick things up, troopers, whatever's, whatnots. But like something unique, that's cool, man. That looks different.
Yeah.
That's what stands out,
Yeah, I think so too, man. And what's that slated to come out the end of this year? So we'll see. It probably won't. It'll probably come out like the middle of next year. But, it's just a really unique looking figure, man. I just, and with the letter features, the head sculpt the way it is, and the fact that it got made at all just took forever. Like, it's just a really cool, unique looking figure. I think it's going to pop on a shelf personally. But yeah, it's going to be badass, bro. But seriously, man, Anthony, I'm excited about the upcoming releases. I got to ask you something, though.
For sure.
Because, I've been on a little bit of a kick lately of selling things, of canceling things, just to curate and consolidate my collection to what I do have, and just kind of figuring out what I want and what I want my collection to be moving forward. So canceling pre-orders, I can tell people, I know other people have done this in the chat too. It's not exactly fun depending on where you ordered it from, because a lot of my orders were from comic retailers, like distributors from Sideshow, right? And when you do that, a lot of times it's a 20% NRD. So sometimes it's a lower NRD or even not an NRD at all. Or sometimes the shop is willing to refund you the NRD. Some shops aren't. I've experienced both. So canceling POs is not exactly fun. But one tactic that I've seen thrown out there a lot, Anthony, and I'm sure you've probably seen this, is some people say that instead of just canceling the pre-order and taking the 20% hit, just get the figure and then sell it when you get it. So that could be done too, but at the same time, you're going to have to discount it. Even if it's brand new, you're going to have to discount it at least a little bit for people to want to bite on it.
That's horrible advice.
Yeah, I've been canceling. I've been canceling because I'd rather just take the hit now instead of having to deal with the trouble of having to sell it to someone. What if it breaks or what if something's wrong with it, right? Like, I'd rather just cancel it and take the hit now, depending on how much I paid. If it's a JND Joker, for example, and I'm taking a $500 hit on the NRD, that might be a little different because I'm just like, okay, like I'll just suck it up and sell it or something. But if it's a hot toy and I canceled the Boba 2-pack, for example, right? I took a $90 hit on that NRD. That's not fun, right?
No, that's not.
But I just felt, you know what? If I don't get it now, then I'm gonna end up paying $450, $500 for it later. So, and then I'm gonna have to go put that money in and then sell it and then get the money back. It's just easier for me to take the NRD hit. How do you approach? I don't know if you cancel a lot of POs, but how do you approach doing such a thing?
First and foremost, let me just start out by saying that we're content creators, but we're also humans and we're also collectors, so we all make mistakes. So I know we've all been there, and with, I'm sure, 76 in the chat watching, well, don't forget to hit that like button too, that we've all canceled pre-orders. A lot of us have, I'm sure of it. It happens. Sometimes you get overexcited, you get into the hype. You're like, oh, this figure's awesome. Before you know it, you got like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 pre-orders. I don't know, and then like you said, you're like, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Boba Fett, right? Like, here's the question. Why did you pre-order it, right? Something made you go, you know what? I want this. But that's not always the case, right? Because now you're like, you know what? I'm going to eat that $90, dude. I don't want it anymore. But at some point in your life, you wanted it. And it's like, but did you really want it? Right. Or was it like, or time goes on and life happens too. And you're like, you know what? I can't afford all this stuff. So it's so how I approach it now, I don't pre-order.
Yeah.
Whew. Like, that's it. I just don't pre-order anymore. Now, I do payment plans for sure because that helps. Like, so the Joker, the InArts 2-pack Joker, I just got charged again. This is like month 2. I'm sure you probably did too. Somewhere right around now. So I'm on the next month payment plan, or however I don't know if you paid outright or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? I don't mind doing payment plans on certain things, but you're absolutely right though, because it depends on where you go, right? With Sideshow, you can kind of, plead your case. You can call Sideshow and be like, hey man, I'm sorry, whatever. And they'll refund you your NRD. Certain mom and pop comic book stores, things like that. Some of them don't. And then so you really, for Hot Toys, it's not that much of a bullet to eat. But if you're getting statues, other stuff, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 things, and you have to put down, $1,000 deposit, $350, $550, $850, that's serious money. So you have to really, really, really want this, when you're in that tier. For Hot Toys, I get it. Some of us were like, okay, $80, $40, whatever, I'll eat the NRD. But so very rarely will I have to cancel something because I don't really pre-order anymore. You know what I'm saying? Right. I was like, there's just, with Hot Toys especially, it's because there's 130 damn pre-orders coming. So at this point, if I'm getting it through Sideshow, and if it was like a year or so ago, maybe I would just cancel it and I'd eat it, or try to talk to them and be like, yo, can you hook me up or something. But some other shops are cool too. If you cancel and they are like, no, we keep the NRD, but some of them will work with you too if you keep it in the ecosystem. Right. And you're like, well, okay, maybe I don't want this, but can you just transfer what I've paid so far and let's get something else from you? Right. Sometimes certain companies, certain guys will work with you. So I guess long story short, dude, don't pre-order, guys, unless you absolutely are like, I have to have this. There's no, like Bespin Luke. Bespin Luke's coming out. I didn't pre-order it, but he is 100% never going to change my mind. He's going to be on these shelves. Yeah. But even in those situations, I wouldn't pre-order if I was you. Yeah, I just don't really feel the need. I honestly don't anymore. Why would you? Yeah. Because now I'm giving a company my money for 2 years. Yep. Now, payment plan, cool. I kind of understand that too, because sometimes we're not all, I don't even want to say it in a negative way, but honestly, some of us aren't that responsible. So if we can, if we can go through somebody like Sideshow and say, hey, let me pay like, $60 a month and we'll just do it this way. And then, versus putting it in my bank, because maybe I'm just going to spend it on something else. Or, you know, so if you're like, I have the money now, I might as well do it. My problem with that, though, is these figures are kind of cheap in that respect, right? So if you go through Sideshow, you make 3-4 payments and you're done.
Yep.
And the problem with that is if you pre-order it, you're giving them 3 or 4 payments now, and the figure still has a year plus to come out. So now all your money's in somebody else's pocket. So that's where I've been kind of like, I don't need to do the pre-order, you know?
Yeah. And dude, and all the pre-orders that I'm, you know, in terms of the ones that I have canceled where I have eaten NRDs, then yeah, they've all been things that have been done a year or more ago, really. Because ever since, you know, we started figuring out, I think all of us collectors got a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser of not pre-ordering. Pre-ordering is fine if you want to do it, but I'm with you, Anthony. I would not recommend it. I don't think it's advisable at this point for Hot Toys. I don't think it's smart just because of the fact that you have like, so many good options nowadays, and InArt's coming out with good things. There's always like something new that's coming out. And at the same time, you might change your mind. There's so many. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Like literally I thought at minimum I'd want this Boba 1 pack, like just him in the armor, which I still may end up getting at some point. If I can get a really good deal on it, I might just get the single pack. But I thought, you know, with getting a good deal on this, maybe I could just go for it. And I had to eat a 20% NRD on this one, which ended up being like $90. So, I mean, that's, you know, but I prefer to do that. That's my strategy rather than it's making the best of a bad situation rather than trying to get the package, pay in full, and then sell it again. Like, I don't want to deal with that really. So I don't really want to.
That's a huge problem. Like you were saying in the beginning of this, is that
I don't want to deal with it.
You buy this thing, right? Like, let's ballpark it and say it's $400 flat.
Right.
Shipping, tax, everything. You are in $400.
Right.
Now you have a figure that is available at retail.
Right.
Through Sideshow that will fix your figure, no questions asked, will give you points towards store credit. Right now, this is all retail. So now why do I want to buy Will's figure when I can do it here? Okay, so what is he offering me that Sideshow isn't? Oh, he's selling it to me cheaper. Okay, so now you're taking a hit. Or if you're not selling cheaper in like groups, you're putting it on Mercari, you're putting it on eBay, which means you have to inflate the cost because they take their cut. So then it's like, well, wait a minute. Why am I going to be buying this off Mercari for $450 so that you can make $403 to get your money back? So it's not going to work. So if you sell even cheaper there, you're still taking sales hits. And then they charge you tax. So you're eating so much shit. And then on top of it, you're going to ship it to the guy.
Right.
You know, that you're paying. So it's like, yeah, you're screwed. It's like, just hang on to it for a while. Like, some of you out there who may be thinking about selling some of your figures and they're still here available at retail, you're gonna take a hit. It sucks. So if you get to that point where you're like, damn, I need to sell this and it's a retailed figure, then I think you prematurely, you know, you bought something, right? Because I see it all the time. Like, we got Ahsoka's for sale already. I mean, I called it. Like, you know, from private groups, people are selling their Ahsoka. Well, they bought it, they really like it, but they thought they liked it, and then they're like, nah, I got to get rid of it. So it's very. I think you need to get, and it sucks because if you need money, I get it. But anything that's like retail, man, I think everybody should wait a couple years or something. Like, if you did get this Boba Fett, you didn't eat, that's your alternative, right? You eat the $90 NRD, or you buy it and you sit on it for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Then sell it. But that's like a big pain in the ass.
Yeah,
that's
like,
I'll just take the
and what am I
$90,
going to lose? Yeah. Like, I mean, I might lose, you know, I might gain a little bit of money based on what I paid but I lost $90. Like, if I go to sell it when it's at retail, okay, I ended up losing $50 instead of $90. Like, that's, you know, it's not $40 isn't nothing, but yeah, it's, you know, not exactly fun. But anything, I got to hit these super chats real quick.
Oh,
so,
of course.
Otaku Samurai said, hello, question for Will. I pre-ordered Darth Revan from Spec Fic. I'm considering canceling it because of space. I know it's sold out. What is your opinion? If you don't have the space, then yeah, I would cancel it. But if you do have the space and you have the funds, and you have the availability, I would get it because who knows when we're going to see the next Revan merch. We're probably going to see something from KOTOR Remake, but it's hard to say whether we're going to get a Hot Toys or a statue or whatever the case is. Maybe Sideshow ends up making one from the game. Who knows? But doubtful, I would think. So if you really love Revan like I do and you want something Revan in your collection, I would keep it. But if you don't have the space, I think the decision's already made for you. Because that's happened to me before. So that's anything. Would you agree with that?
This is a tough one because I absolutely love Revan as well.
I do too.
And I didn't pick it up because I'm kind of broke. I'm not gonna lie, man. My money's all over the place, and different hot toys and
sometimes.
Right. So for me, it's like, all right, you ordered Revan, which means you must be a fan of Knights of the Old Republic. But you're the reason you're considering canceling is because of space. So if you love it that much, you'll make space for it. Something else has got to go. If not, if you don't feel like you're going to regret it, then yeah, maybe cancel it. If you're like, I can live without it. But that's where the whole cycle happens that we're talking about. If you can live without it, then why did we pre-order this Boba Fett 2-pack, Will?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good question.
Like it's
talking to me a year ago. Yeah.
Right. So it's really tough, man. It's really tough.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Taco Samurai. I seriously appreciate that, man. Seriously means a lot. Brandon, thanks so much, Brandon. He said, I'm curious your guys' thoughts on pre-ordering statues. I'm considering putting a deposit on the 1/3 scale Battinson from Queen. Statues are definitely a little bit of a different beast because they tend to be more limited. If there's an edition size, then obviously you want to be fast on it. It's a really tough balancing act because on one hand, you're like, okay, I'm dropping a pretty big NRD, and the other one's like, hey, this could sell out, right? But unless it's a J&D, which even the J&Ds kind of sit depending on where you get them from. Like, it's not like they sell it on their website pretty quickly because other places buy them and people buy them, but on other sites you can still readily get them. So I would say overall, to me on statues, only drop the pre-order if you're absolutely certain, because I've eaten statue NRDs too, and it's not fun. And I can just tell you from experience, like, you got to be absolutely positive. I would wait on this Queen. I don't think it's going to sell out anytime soon. J&D might drop something. Maybe you end up wanting that, right? So like Riley was saying in the chat, I think these are going to be around for a little while. What do you think, Anthony?
The 3rd scale Batman?
Yeah, 3rd scale Queen Batman, and just statues in general. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think it's going to be around forever. But here's the problem with statues, bro. Or if you're dealing with Queen or, J&D, where they do the mixed media, right? Some of it's porcelain or polystone. Some of it's like sculpted. Because look at that Joker, bro. That Joker did not look good. Was that the J&D or was that Queen? I forget.
Which one?
That 3rd
scale?
Looked totally different from Prototype, remember?
Oh, yeah, the J&D, I think. But, I mean, I still really liked it. But I guess it just depends how they did the hair and stuff. Like, it can be...
Right, but here's the thing. If you look at that, some people will be like, nah, dude, that is not what I pre-ordered.
Right.
That's fact. That's just simple fact, Like, so there's if you're cool with it, cool. But there are going to be people, Brandon could be one of them, where he pre-orders something, and then the final product looks different. So, you're
talking about Prime 1 Joker. Yeah.
Remember, it was what Joker
it was the Prime 1. Yeah, it was really terrible. It was really bad.
So you see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
sometimes you don't know, and it's hard with statues because, like you said, statues can sometimes actually be a pre-order situation. Like, you don't have a choice. You're like, oh, I have a limited time to actually get this, and then you get it, and then you're like, uh-oh, this does not look like the Prototype at all. And then you're like, I'm $2-3 grand into this. That could be, so it's hard, but I'm all for statues. If you really like them, hell yeah, man. But I don't think it's going anywhere. That particular that 3rd scale right now.
I don't think so either. But thanks so much for the question, Brandon. That's an amazing, really good question, honestly. Before I get to OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars, I want to actually hop to the next topic, Anthony, real quick. Then I'll jump back to the super chat, I promise. Are people losing interest in delayed figures? So I can leave this figure up, honestly, because this is a really good example. Of people losing interest in delayed figures. Because, Anthony, I'm really curious about this. And I think maybe I am starting to feel that way for some of these figures. Like, I feel like, Loki is the exception because I've always want Loki and I'm always going to want that Loki because it's awesome unless it ends up looking terrible, which I doubt. But I think Cable, for example, the Miles Morales, Taskmaster, Boba Fett, like, we're looking at all these figures that have been delayed and, just on pre-order for a really long time. And after a while, you kind of start to lose interest. The film came out 2 to 3 years ago. There's so many other figures that are coming out. There's new properties. There's new things. And I think, if it's a figure that you truly, like Pennywise, I was always going to want, right? Or Loki, I was always going to want. But like this Boba Fett that I like kind of wanted a lot, and then now I'm just starting to lose interest. Do you ever feel that, or do you think people are starting to feel that way about certain delayed figures, like Jango Fett even?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's just those few reasons alone that you just mentioned. Like, there's always going to be, there's tiers. Okay. There's specific tiers in collecting. And so Pennywise for you is like S tier. right?
Right.
I don't care how long, right? You're like, I don't care if it takes 3 years, which it did. It took 3 years to get Pennywise, but you're like, I'm still getting him. I'm not losing interest in that. That's an S tier thing. Okay, Snowspeeder Luke is original trilogy. I'm heavily into Star Wars. I don't care how long he takes. With just point of fact, he got delayed. I'm not going to lose interest on that because he's an S tier figure for me, right? For me. So, but you're right. So then you got all these other things because you like to collect. Collect means more than one typically. So when you're in a hot toy or 6 scale or statues or whatever, you usually get more than one thing, right? So the radar is always pinging, right? For collectors. Oh, look at this figure. Look at Cable. Look at Boba Fett. Whatever. And I feel that's exactly what's happening to not only myself, you as well as you've mentioned, but everybody in general, bro. 130 figures pre-ordered, tons of stuff getting delayed. I had mentioned this with the Batman, with the 2022 Batman. Okay, the Batman looks great, right? You can get this deluxe edition for $500. It comes with the bat signal, right? You know, I did a video. You know, we all know about it. Nice looking figure. Is the hype going to be there still in 2 years, right? You look at it. Let's say you just got out of the theater and you're like, wow, I really like that Batman movie. That was cool. Oh shit, look at this hot toy. This looks really cool. And it's coinciding. It's firing the right signals in your brain, right? Because you just enjoyed the movie. Now you're seeing this phenomenal figure. The endorphins are there. The excitement's there. 2.5 years go by. Are you like, damn, yeah, that was a pretty cool movie a couple years ago. But do I feel, you know what I mean? Because do you feel the same on a lot of these figures? Like Cable, right? You liked Cable. You thought Deadpool 2 was a good movie. You're like, Cable, that was cool, man. Now in your brain, you're like, damn, that was like 3 years ago. Do I really still need a Cable? It's a weird thing that happens with us, man. Like our excitement levels. And so, yeah, absolutely, man. There's definitely people are losing interest because of delays.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a tricky balancing act, I just feel like, with Hot Toys, because we do want more things. We want new things. We want unique things, but we also want our figures coming out faster and we want announcements faster. So we are asking for quite a bit of them. That's a topic we'll probably get to, but this Miles Morales is another one, man. He's kind of teetering on the line for me. I love Spider-Verse. I think it's maybe No Way Home at this point. This is probably maybe the second best Spider-Man film ever made, or the first, right? It's right up there for me, at least.
The animation was just stunning.
It was amazing. And dude, and the fact that I'm second guessing this figure is kind of deflating because I'm like, man, I love this film. But it's like I've just started to lose. Maybe the new Spider-Verse film's coming out next year. It looks like they delayed it. So, but still, I mean, this is going to be a really cool figure. So I'm still keeping the pre-order for now, but it's on the line right now. It's on the chopping block a little bit because, you know, as much as I love it and I think the value of it is fantastic, and that's really the pose I'm going to put him in with this outfit because I really like this. But yeah, man, those delays are really hurting.
OG no doubt he looks great. Sorry.
Yeah. OG Star Wars fan, I gotta hit this. I bought it because Boba Fett is the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. Must have all Boba Fett's in the 2-pack as figure of the year. Thanks so much, OG. Yeah. It is going to be amazing. I've seen, because I know you have it, Anthony, don't you?
Oh, I got mine in like October or whatever. Like whatever literal day one. But it was a gift to me. I don't normally buy day one. It's very, very rare. It's very rare for me, especially as content creators. I don't do a lot of reviews much these days now. In part of what's been going on in the world of 6 scale, it's just like I don't need to do day one reviews for me personally. So it's very rare that I'll buy them now, day ones. But again, it was a gift, so yeah, I got him right away. I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's again, like, this is a cool ass movie, no doubt. But you're right. I think the problem that Hot Toys has is, and it's never going to change because they're so far behind. But if they were to show, like, let's say that when, I don't even remember when this showed, right? Let's pretend they just announced this. They just showed it today. Boom! Here's a reveal: Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse, available in 2-3 months. Your interest would still be there,
right?
You'd pick it up. You're like, oh yeah, I'll pre-order it. Shit, it comes out in like July. Cool. You know. So the problem is when it's a year and a half plus the delays. Plus the fact that anything you get from that's Hot Toys is Hong Kong released first. And if you wait, then you're waiting even longer for Sideshow. And if you don't buy from Sideshow and you buy from your local comic book store, you're waiting even longer for Sideshow to deliver to your local comic book store. So the delays are just insane. And I think that's why people are losing interest. Absolutely. They need to have a very fast turnaround time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And like, I don't obviously love everything that they do in terms of like ethics and things like that, but I am starting to feel like maybe I'm leaning more towards Sideshow with my purchases. Like paying the tax sucks. I get that. But the customer service you get and the fact that, the NRDs and stuff like that, like if something's delayed, you can get your money back usually. That's usually pretty nice. So I'm starting to, I guess, maybe get in my my older collector age after a couple years now where I'm just kind of like, I like the simplicity of it, because I haven't
had any issues with Sideshow.
No, me either.
Personally.
And anytime I do have an issue, they literally fix it. So
they do. That's the problem, right? Because, and you're right, as we get older, we're just kind of, you know what? I don't need problems.
Right.
So, I get like perfect example. Well, what did I get? I don't remember. War Machine Mark IV.
Yeah.
Was that Infinity War? I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah.
I think I got that figure in and the arm was broke. No questions asked, man. Just bloop, fixed. Like, all right, here's another one. You know what I mean? Without any kind of problems. And again, with this recent, and I know a lot of people don't know this because it's not very well advertised unless, sometimes I think they are rolling out emails and, some of us have brought it to the public's opinion or you know what I'm saying? Like to their attention that Sideshow's now doing what you're saying. They're having these new check boxes. Do you want to secure your order from being delayed or things like that? So they're working on a point where, perfect example, kind of irritated me, and this is why I don't pre-order, is August 26th, 2020. Day one, because that was the day, literally, day one pre-ordered Ahsoka, Clone Wars Ahsoka. I paid her in full. I was like, whatever. I only owe $36 now, which was like half tax, half shipping, right? It was like 16 and 16 or whatever. So I didn't owe her I didn't owe anything. And I kind of did it just to see what would happen. And sure enough, other people started getting their Ahsokas, and then I got an email saying it's been delayed. I'm like, yo, I literally paid it off in full the day you guys announced her.
Yeah.
But I hit cancel. They gave me everything back. I didn't even have to talk to anybody. They gave me all my money back and my NRD. It was like, and no communication. I just went into my account, canceled, boom. The next day it was in my bank. Everything. So I think that's kind of nice in a sense, right? Because you can't do that with a lot of other places.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. And OG Star Wars fans at Headcanon, Book of Boba Fett, I pick and choose what I liked in it. Yeah, I get that too. I tend to be the same way, but I appreciate it, man. I love Cad Bane in it, so I'm gonna, he's canon to me. So, it's an interesting topic for sure, Anthony. But yeah, man, there's a lot of delays right now, a lot of things happening, and so many good options. That's part of the problem too. But
way too many.
I want to ask you, Anthony, this is part of what I mean with good options. So collecting multiple versions of the same character, everyone I think has a different ideology when it comes to this. Like some people will stick to the rule of, I only collect one of a character. I'm only going to have one Loki. I don't care. It's just the Loki. I want the Avengers one or Dark World or whatever, or TVA, whatever. I want one Loki. I want one Captain America. I want one Wanda, whatever, right? There's also people like myself that sometimes will get that, and they also might get a statue of that same character. Like Loki, I'll get the Hot Toys version of, and then I'll have the Queen Studios Loki. I'm not going to do that for every character, only the ones that I really, really love. But for you, Anthony, do you have sort of a rule that you follow, like multiple versions of the same character or different scales? Like say Revan gets announced, and say you bought the XM Studios Revan, and Revan Hot Toys gets announced. Would you buy that, or would you kind of limit yourself to
Yes. No, I
so you'd have both, yeah.
So again, it comes down to tiers.
Right.
What's your S tier? Because and I know you can probably see it. Original premium format quarter scale Vader statue right there. New Hope Vader right there. Hot Toys quarter scale Return of the Jedi Vader up there. So I have 3 Vaders in plain sight. Now, that's not for everything. That can't be for everything because it's just then what happens. So I know people who, let's say you love Loki, perfect example, right?
Yeah.
So you have an Avengers, or let's say you have the Dark World Loki or Ragnarok Loki. And now this new Endgame Loki, which, let's just say it's out now, right? You may be that person to be like, see, now that's the new one. I don't have that.
That's the one I want.
Yes, I don't have that one yet, but now it's too much because I already have a statue. So I don't know. But let's say you wanted that Loki and you're like, damn, do I still need my Dark World Loki?
Right.
Do I still need my Ragnarok Loki? I know people like that. So they'll go ahead and take that and sell it right? Maybe they take a little bit of a hit. I don't know. It's been a long time, maybe 3, 4, 5 years since you bought that figure. If you can make out on it, cool. And you offload it and you get the new one. Like that Hawkeye coming. Some people may sell their Hawkeyes to get this Hawkeye. You know what I mean? So now again, though, I have like 9 freaking Shore Troopers. So yeah, I do get multiple versions. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of Shore Troopers back here.
That's hilarious.
So, but that's different. That's different because it's not like I have like 6 different Thors. So I will get multiples, but they're not different versions. See what I'm saying? That's like kind of army building. So
yeah,
and as far as scales, yeah, like I said, it just depends on what you like, man. There's no wrong way to collect.
Right. No, I'm with you, man. I tend to be the same, but because it's funny, Anthony, what you just described with Loki is literally what I'm doing right now. Like I'm about to list the Ragnarok Loki soon. As much as it pains me to, I'm probably going to list the original Avengers Loki because I know the new one's coming out. So I'm not going to need both of them. So I'm probably just going to sell the old one and I'm not going to have an Avengers Loki for a while, which sucks, but I'll get the new one when it drops. And I'm going to sell Dark World Loki. I think I might keep. I might just have 2 Hot Toys Lokis. I really want to keep the Dark World. I really like that one. So I'm probably going to do that. But yeah, man, this Vader, for example, like I said, I'm going to have the Hot Toys ESB 40th anniversary Vader. I'm going to have this statue here because I love this statue. I really do. The only thing questionable is the base, and it's okay. I don't hate it, but the figure itself, the statue is incredible. So I'm really excited.
I am getting the Mythos Vader.
That's a great one too. Very unique.
Because I have the Mythos right here. So it's like
it'll fit in.
It'll fit. They're 5th scale. It's cool. He'll chill with my Palpatine. Then I got my Ventress and then my Maul. Well, my Maul's not here yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like they all fit. There's a certain style, and it's like, but then that's tough, bro. Then I'm gonna have 4 different kinds of Vaders.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Because Vader's your guy. So I mean, that's
it's Vader. It's Darth Vader, bro. I mean, it's like it's the look. You could go to anybody who has no idea what the hell 6 scale is or what statues are, but they know of Star Wars, and you can give them a Darth Vader figure or a Luke Skywalker or R2 and 3PO, right? Like those are, and that's all they would have. They could have it in their office, a little desk piece or something. And that's a key representation of that entire franchise. You see what I'm saying? So you get them a Moff Gideon, they'll be like, well, wait, what is this? I don't know. But everybody knows Vader. You see what I'm saying? So there's these tiers that you have to adjust to your collection accordingly when it comes to that, right? Because you can't. Otherwise, you're right. You're going to have 9 Captain Americas. You're going to have 6 Thors.
Right.
Like, do you need all that? I mean, maybe if you're a huge Avengers fan.
I'm starting to get to the point of 1 per character, except for a few exceptions. Like there's a few exceptions here and there where maybe just the outfit is a little bit different. It's like a Darth Vader, for example. I'm going to have this and I'm going to have the figure, and that's 2 Vaders for me. Kylo, for example. I have a few Kylos, but I'm starting to get away from having multiple versions of the same Hot Toy character, like I'm having, like instead of having like 4 Lokis or 4 Reys or 4 Kylos, I might just have like 1 or 2, like 2 tops. So I'm starting to get more towards that point just because I'm curating, like you mentioned, and consolidating. So I really like that. And I can see people in the chat kind of saying similar things, but multiples do make you feel good for, like Blitz was saying, for certain characters that you just truly love. Like
absolutely.
It's Darth Vader for you, or Revan or Loki or whatever, like, or Bespin, or Luke or Leia, then that might be a character you want to get multiples of, or Han, for example. But even though they only made 2 Hans technically, or 3, I guess, with the
well, I mean, shit, I've got 11 Spider-Mans.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and Iron Man.
I got 2 just sitting here.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have, I think when all said and done, I'm gonna have 4 Iron Man, because I have the Mark 7, the Battle Damage 85, the Mark 50, and I'll have the Mark 5. I think that'll be it. So I'll have 4.
Yeah, that might be okay for you, right?
Yeah.
Again, there's no wrong way to collect if you really, but I think if you're, depending on how deep you are in 6 scale, then that can be kind of crazy,
right?
Because almost every figure does have multiple versions of said figure. Some won't, right? We're getting him off Gideon. It's probably gonna be the only one. Maybe in a few years, if he's still around, we'll get a second. But like you're mentioning, like any Avengers, gosh, I mean, we don't even know how many Iron Mans. 60 there's so many Iron Mans. But even Captain America, there's like a dozen.
Yeah, there's a lot.
there's quite a bit. So then you're like, damn, I have all these. Now, do I have 5 Black Widows too? Do I have, all 3 Hulks? 4 Hulks, I'm sorry. There's 4 Hulks now. Like, that starts when you look at your collection, you're like, damn, do I need all of these?
Yeah,
right?
that's what happens.
So it just depends.
Yeah. Same kind of deal with, a lot of these characters. But yeah, it's interesting, man. There's going to be so many good versions. Like, there's going to be another Darth Vader or multiple Darth Vaders coming out from the show coming up in Obi-Wan. So, that's going to be very tempting for people too. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. But Anthony, I got to ask you an important question, bro. What would make you get into the statue game? What do I got to do to convince you to get into the statue game? Because I want to pull something up for us real quick.
Yeah.
Because
while you pull it up, can you define the parameters of getting into the statue game? What does that mean?
Because it doesn't mean you have to go full-fledged statues, because I'm not even at that point. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got my toes in both pools right now. So like that's, I think going in the statue game is having like maybe somewhere between like 7 to 10 statues. Something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know where you're at right now, because I know you have a few, but I think you're mostly more of a Hot Toys collector, which I am too. I have more Hot Toys than anything.
Right.
So, but I'm wondering what would get people and yourself maybe more into statues. I know the prices are high, but what would kind of make you take you to go to the dark side there?
If I was very wealthy, if I was doing pretty well off, if I was pulling in 6 figures, not like Hot Toy figures, like money, like if I'm hitting at least $100,000 a year. Yeah. And I had a decent living space, I would be in this statue game. Because if you remember, I did have my 3 third scale Mortal Kombat statues.
You did.
Quite large, quite pricey, quite detailed. They were awesome figures. But I don't have the room for them. For statues, you know what I'm saying? So certain things are tough. Like I do have, that's why I love the Mythos, because 5th scale is kind of nice. And even quarter scale is not bad. But I don't. When you define like the statue game, I'm looking at like 3rd scale and up.
Yeah.
Personally, I think anything under 3rd scale, it is a statue, clearly, but it's what would make me get into it is the exclusivity in that respect, right? Because, and I was talking to Carlos about that too, is that like quarter scale, it's a kind of funny analogy if you can keep up with the numbers. Quarter scale statues are like 6 scale figures in the statue world.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is quarter scale is like the most universal. They'll make everything in quarter scale. So I don't feel like the value's necessarily there for me. If I was to get back in hard, I'd be in 3rd scale, maybe half scale, depending on what again, if this is if I was doing pretty well and I had the space. Because 3rd scales are much more limited as well, right? Like you're like really looking. This is a third. Is this a quarter?
It is a quarter scale. Quarter scale.
That still looks phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
It still looks phenomenal. Oh yeah, Legolas, right? Who looking at that? Like, and what's the run on that? Not very many, right?
I think it's like 300. Yeah, 300.
Yeah, so really low. So looking into something like that, you're like, okay, I buy this piece, it's gonna retain its value if you're in it for that, right? Because I've realized with Hot Toys, don't even bother looking at it as an investment, because there's
not at this point.
There's no way. It's never going to be. 6 scale's made for mass production, so that's a whole different argument for another day. But it's that with statues, dude, they're beautiful. They offer you poses that you cannot get for the most part. When you see some nice statues, like I can't pull that off with a Hot Toy.
Right.
This I could, sure. But you know what I mean? Like certain things, you get this, but then you're locked into it. But they're beautiful pieces. They're beautiful, beautiful pieces. But yeah, I would need some money, Will, and some space. And I would be all over it. Don't think I don't want statues. All right, I looked at that. Oh, my God, that Prime 1 Cyborg Superman like 2.5 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I seen that, and I was like, dude, I don't know if I want to wait that long. That's a perfect example. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it 2-3 years ago. I wanted it. I didn't get it. And then it's out now. And I'm like, oh, I do still want it. But I can't. Yeah. I just can't. I don't have the space. So it's not that I don't want statues. But
yeah. because they are badass, bro, and they really do have a presence. But so do Hot Toys if you get the the right ones. I feel like
absolutely do
the ones that you love, because everyone's the right one to everyone is different, right? So everyone's gonna love. Some people really are loving that Kate Bishop, and some people really love a Cad Bane or or Luke Skywalker Bespin. Like it really just depends on the eye and the beholder, basically. Eye of the beholder. So, but for statues, man, yeah, it's a dangerous game with statues because they are expensive. And like we talked about, the NRDs for them are expensive. If you're doing payment plans, that's great. But because you can pay them off over time, that's really nice. But yeah, man, I just think it's interesting to hear, from people who primarily are 6-scale collectors, like even me, like what would kind of get you more into statues. But because I know
certain scale. There's certain scale that goes with that. Like
quarter scale is the gateway.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think I have a photo anymore, and I don't have it set up the way I did. I'd have to look. I'll show you some other time. I wasn't prepared for this. But I did. I had a photo of my setup, and it was really, really cool because I had my Vader statue. I had my core scale Return of the Jedi elevated on his platform, and it's lit up. And then I took my Han Solo Stormtrooper disguise. He's got the LED backdrop of the Death Star wall panel. So I put that there and I lit it up. So he's all lit up, looks really cool. And then I have my Hot Toy Vader there. And you can set these things up, and then you get like a lightsaber, like you buy, like whatever, just a Galaxy's Edge or whatever. You get a lightsaber, a life-size lightsaber, you put it all together, right? And you have this mix of scale of a theme, and I think that is really, really cool. So, but then you're like, well, that's my little corner of Darth Vader.
Right.
Well, now what? I can't keep doing that. With multiple scales and being all crazy, you're like, oh, shoot. But there is something to say about that with statues. Statues can complement your Hot Toys.
They can. Absolutely, bro. And like when you see pieces like this with the Steppenwolf and Darkseid and Superman and things like that, man, yeah. If you're a big DC fan, then absolutely. It's pretty tempting.
That's nuts, though, right there. What is that, like $8,000?
No, I don't know, maybe because Steppenwolf is probably like what 1,500, something like that, and then Darkseid's were right around that 1,600, something like that. So yeah, you're probably looking at $5,000
something, right? Because tax, shipping, like
with shipping and stuff, probably six. Probably six, yeah.
And that's badass. But are you that into Zack Snyder's Justice League and have the money and have the space? That would be sick. I would get those. I would 100%. Again, if I was making good money and I had a dedicated room for stuff like that, I'd be like, yo, here's my cool Zack Snyder world statue stuff, and it looks badass. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that looks sick, but it's tough.
Because you can definitely have statues that complement each other. Because my girlfriend was here last night, actually, and I think she told me, if I remember this correctly, that she liked the Baldur and Kratos statues that I have the most. Probably because they complement each other so well. They do. Like, you put them together, and they complement each other so nicely that they really look pretty cool together. So, because they're a diorama piece. But I do get Major Ben Derlin. He said, I'm a 1/6 scale guy. Thanks so much for the very generous super chat, by the way. Seriously, guys. Thank you so much for the support. I'm a 1/6 scale guy, but some of these life-size pieces are pretty hard to resist. Have a great weekend and hit that like button. Thanks so much, Major Ben Derlin. They really are. Dude, that life-size Joker from Queen Studios. I think it's on here somewhere. I'm going to pull it up real quick. But have you seen those, Anthony? Like those life-size statues? Like, and some of the Iron Man
we were on a
stuff?
stream, on one of your streams on a Sunday night, remember?
Yeah, and you remember the what's it called? It the Alita one. The Alita one was absolutely crazy. And this is actually not that good in these photos. They fixed it since.
Yeah, this doesn't look that good.
Yeah. But the sculpt's there, but the hair is way off.
Yeah.
The hair is way off. Which even here it's still pretty solid. But the life-size statues for sure. Carlos has been looking at some of those, you know that?
He has. And I'm saying you got to be in a different game, though, to really get into
Yeah, that's
shit.
big ball of shit right there, yeah.
Because I was looking at the Boba Fett, $9,000 life-size,
right?
Whatever, 7, 8, I don't remember. It's on Sideshow. There's a life-size Boba Fett. Like, you're like, damn.
Yeah, that's really nice. And it was free shipping. I think it was free shipping.
It damn well better be.
Yeah.
For like $9,000. You're like, you're gonna ship that, right? You're gonna double box that for me.
It's like shipping a human being. So
yeah. It's come in a coffin, and you're like, here you go. Here's your bounty hunter. It looks amazing, but can you imagine, literally, like right now, if you're looking at my camera and you see a life-size Boba Fett standing there, you're like, is it gonna fit? Like, that's a lot of, and then you get one, so now you're in a life-size game. Are you only going to get one life size, or are you going to start to kind of create a literal armory? You know, when you walk in the old Victorian castles, and you got these like hallway of armor, you know, medieval armor plate. Like you know, you would do something like that. At least I would. Again, if I was rich, yeah, dude, I'd walk in. I would have like a foyer when you open my door into my mansion, and you'd walk down this pathway to the main entrance, and you'd see all these life-size statues. And well, shit, yeah, I would do. So
yeah,
it's not that I wouldn't do it, but like, practically speaking, no, I'm not buying a life-size statue. There's no,
right.
It's not feasible, bro.
And I got to ask you another key question though, because sometimes what I do, and I think other people do too, is projecting the future, right? One of the things that I was kind of banging on, this could be a totally foolish endeavor, right? Because I had Darkside Anakin at one point, right? I had that. I bought it at retail. It was like $250, whatever, right? And then eventually I saw this thing's going for $750. I can get 3 times my money and sell it now, which is what I did. I sold it for $760, right? So, and I missed that figure kind of to a degree, but it's not like my collection is crumbled. You know, it's not like I don't have an Anakin. I'm just not going to make it. Like, you know, I think projecting the future can be a good thing, because what I've kind of banked on is they will make another Anakin, whether they reissue that one or whether the Anakin shows up in the Obi-Wan show with another Darkside version, or just another Anakin where I don't even need Darkside. I can get another Anakin and it's totally fine. I'll be happy, right? So projecting the future for the people that maybe were really intelligent and saw a season 2 Mando coming, maybe with chrome armor, maybe they could have offloaded this one beforehand, and they would have been smart to do so, because
it was
now
too fast. It was too fast for Mando.
That's probably true. Actually, you're right. But free shipping, right? Free shipping, limited time offer, and they're probably not just having a hard time moving these. I can tell.
They're gonna sit for another 2 years.
They're gonna sit for another, like people were like trying to offload these on the groups for way cheaper than what they paid. So this Mando has not retained its value just because of what's come after it. But you're right. It was very close together, so it would have been hard to project that one. But
they double dipped it. You're like, what?
Yeah, maybe it's not a perfect example, but do you ever do that, Anthony, where you forecast the future, so to speak, and then offload something before it comes out?
Yeah, I mean, even like right now is kind of stating the obvious, because we already know, and we've known for a long time now, that we're getting an Obi-Wan show, right? Yeah. We've known this for a couple years now. We've also known that Hayden Christensen is reprising his role. This isn't like some stunning revelation, but with that said, it's still a really good time right now to sell your Darkside Anakins, because it depends. Do you want to have a Darkside Anakin because it's a representation of Revenge of the Sith, and you're just happy with that? Then keep your figure by all means. But yeah, I do try to project, some things that happen, because you're like, you know what, you could sell that Darkside right now. The caveat is we still have to wait for the show to come out, and we still have to wait for Hot Toys to announce. Are they going to announce? No one's 100% certain of this, so there is a gamble. But I think the likelihood of us getting another version, whether it is a reissue through a flashback or a more current Hayden Christensen Darkside / Darth Vader, there's very, very high percentage that we're going to be getting something. And if you just want one, hearkening back to your previous topic of multiples, do you need multiples? If not, I'd offload it. Absolutely. You strike while the iron's hot, right? If the market's there and you're like, you know what, I'll get rid of it. I'll make, $500, $600, $700 or something. And then you're out of your figure for a couple years, but you got some money, you got some capital to play around with. And then when, this one comes out, you get it at retail and you're, like, all right, cool. So I do tend to, I'm always watching things, man, because it's good. It's healthy to be able to see what's coming in the future.
I think so too, man. And those are the type of things that I think are really just healthy projections, right? Your healthy predictions of the future. Because one other one that I always mention is I had the Endor Luke, right? I had the Endor Luke where I had that figure, and I bought it at I think from Pop Culture, maybe for like $250 or something like that. And then I knew that it had gone way up, and that Mando Luke was coming because they had just shown Luke in the Mandalorian show. People were like, "Oh, are they going to make it?" I'm like, "It's a Luke Skywalker. They're going to make it." So
of course.
And then what happened was I sold that figure for like $450, $475, and I doubled my money almost basically. And then I ended up because I knew I was going to get the Mando Luke version. So that was something that I really. And now they have Bespin Luke, right? So there's always going to be something new, and I think. My opinion, anytime you get a Hot Toys figure that's just ridiculous in value, I think you should sell it. my opinion. Like, if you want to keep it just because you just love that figure and can't live without it, that's a little bit of a different story. But say, for example, you have, Darkseid Anakin that's worth, maybe it goes up to 1,000, like the Shore Trooper did, right? I think
Short Trooper got high, man.
I think you like the Mark 47. I think you should cash in because knowing Hot Toys and what they do. I know Kiko's point about they only reissue 5% of figures, but there's a variation, whether it's a reissue or a variant or whatever, right? There's always going to be something else, and that's a lot of money to leave on the table. So when that type of stuff happens, I like to think that you should. If it's like become a chase figure where it's like, oh, maybe it's $50, $70 over retail. Yeah, is it really worth it? If you still want it, I would just keep it. But when it starts getting to the crazy points, yeah, it's for sure. It can get, that's where I feel like predicting the future can be helpful, or projecting the future. Just, but we're not always good at it because, for example, we all want Bo-Katan, right? There's going to be other Bo-Katans. We just don't realize it at the moment because she's not like in the spotlight at the moment.
Right, we're in the
but
now.
she's about to be. So, yeah.
It's difficult too because if you look at something like another great example is Nightmare Batman. Nightmare Batman was fetching about $700.
Right.
Well, we got a Zack Snyder's Justice League coming. Did anybody honestly predict that they were going to make a black suit Superman 2-pack with the Nightmare Batman reissue bundled in a 2-pack? I honestly don't think any of us saw that coming. Being honest. Like,
no.
We thought, oh, well, maybe we'll finally get Cyborg. That was everybody's number one concern, right? Because now we have Zack Snyder's thing. It's huge. Oh, surely they'll revisit it. Nobody thought they were going to reissue Nightmare Batman. And if they did, it was going to be maybe a reissue, straight up. But they couldn't because it was a Toy Fair exclusive. So they bundle it as a 2-pack to avoid that. Be like, well, no, you guys still have that Toy Fair exclusive. This one is a 2-pack. You get 2 characters. So, but no, I don't think anybody really knew that, right? So that's the gamble, right? Could you have at that time been like, wow, look, Zack Snyder's Justice League's being made. It's going to be out on HBO. This is a thing. You know what? Screw it. I'm selling my Nightmare Batman right now. I'm going to ride this out because it's $700 and they may actually make it again. Like, you don't know, so some of these are kind of tricky. You're like, maybe I'm not going to sell that, but it's in other situations like this Mandalorian was like a kick in the pants, right? Because they dropped this and then we didn't see this Chrome version coming like so quick. And now look at the problem. Sideshow can't even get rid of it. Right. Sideshow can't get rid of it. What makes you think you're going to be able to get rid of yours? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sucks, man.
I'm just going to keep it, but it's going to suck because when that Chrome version comes out, and I said for the longest time, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, I was like, I don't want to buy this to support this type of behavior, which still is true because I do feel like Hot Toys did us a little dirty, and I understand other people's perspective about like Denobi's first time. I get it, but that one was especially dirty, I felt like. That one was like, literally, the figure had not even shipped for most people or had just shipped like a week before, and there's a new one. Like,
I was still on pre-order, bro.
Yeah,
it was
it
not
was
even like fucking out yet. Like,
yeah, like at least wait 6 months or something and let people get it and enjoy it, and then like, okay, but but it's still that and that comes with a head sculpt like that. Yeah, that's really
look at Venom.
Yeah, that's just a straight reissue,
and they justify it because I remember the day I woke up and I was like, what the hell, Venom's out?
Yeah,
I'm like, he wasn't supposed to come out for like another 6 months. And then, I got him because at the time I was doing the reviews and whatnot. So I got him day one. And then, but not everybody does, right? So now Venom's like still kind of not even in stock yet in Sideshow. And then they drop the Carnage variant of Venom. You're like, what? What? Like, I can't even get the original one's not even out yet, technically. And now you're dropping me another Venom that's like a straight, like you said, straight reissue. So it
Music Badge said Venom has the pole, which is new. It's true, he does have the pole.
Right? There's like Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Or then you get like the KX Enforcer. Right? Now, yeah, like you're saying, it's not a reissue. It's not K2SO, guys.
It's a variant,
no matter how much you want to pretend it is, it's not. But for some people, that's all the justification they need. Oh, cool, I can get a K droid, right? I'll buy that. I'm not going to go spend the aftermarket on a K2SO. This will still work for me. And Hot Toys knows that. So they're like, you know what, dude, I'm going to put this out. I don't blame them for a business, but sometimes it does feel like that, you get kind of, you know, bamboozled sometimes.
Because Blitz, thanks so much, Blitz, for the $1 super chat. That really doesn't mean a lot, man. Thanks so much. I think it's a super sticker there, but thank you. I appreciate it. There was an interesting comment from BMW lover. Well, Hector V's first. The biggest mistake was buying Nightmare Batman for $700. A week later, 2-pack was announced. Yep. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it tends to go.
That's
the people who bought Mark 47 and Short Trooper. So
War Machine Mark 1. Somebody spent $900 on that.
Yep. BMW.
A week later.
BMW lover, that Mando has been on the bestseller since it came out. I don't think they can't sell it. It's just they're selling a ton of them. Maybe, but you don't put free shipping for bestsellers.
No.
So I think maybe it was a bestseller at one point, but I think now, even if
maybe
it's on there now,
it is because it's free shipping.
Yeah, free shipping, and it was
selling.
It was popping up on discounts a lot. So I think at this point, yeah, they've been trying to move it. So, but anyway, so Anthony, we got a couple more topics here, 2 more to get through, and I think we can get through them.
Absolutely.
Best way to diversify your collection. This can mean any number of things. It can mean different scales. It can mean different types of characters, different IPs. I purchase I think it happens naturally for me just by going for things that I love. I tend to have more Marvel and Star Wars than anything, but I also have Terminator. I have Pennywise. I have Walter White. I have Game of Thrones stuff. I have other things too. I have a horse, for God's sakes. I have, Arthur Morgan and Sephiroth, and I'll have Cloud and that kind of stuff, and video game stuff like Baldur and Jin Sakai and Kratos. So I try to diversify just based on the things that I love, because there's a lot of diverse things that I do love. So how do you approach this, Anthony? Do you does it happen naturally for you, or do you tend to like consciously think about it?
I think it happens. That's a good question, dude. I think it happens naturally, but sometimes you have to think about it down the road. And you end up thinking about it down the road instead of thinking about it in the now. And I think that's a problem. So perfect example, if I look at my ratio, right, I had I'm ballparking 80 something Star Wars Hot Toys. Now that's obviously not overnight, right? This builds up over time. Now, when I looked at my Marvel, I had about 30-ish Marvel Hot Toys. So as the years of collecting has progressed down the timeline, you notice this discrepancy where you're like, well, my ratio says, well, hello there.
I had just a lower comment.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sometimes I don't see the chat. Thank you.
I know.
Hello. Sometimes you don't notice right over time, and you're like, you know what? It looks like I really like Star Wars a lot more than I like the Marvel stuff. So, but you don't know that in the beginning, right? In the beginning, you're like, well, yeah, hell yeah, man. Infinity War was dope. I'm gonna get everything. And then, or something. And then as time goes on, you're like, oh, shoot. Like, see, that's badass. I'm getting that. So you will, and that's why some of the stuff I'm selling now years later, because I'm just like, you know what? I still like the diversity in that respect, right? It's not exclusively Star Wars, but it really comes down to kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Do you really, really, really like that character? Okay, cool. No problem. All right. The Batman and Robin from Batman Forever, I'm getting. I was excited when they announced it last year. I don't have any DC figures right now. That's not that I don't like DC, but I just didn't have room. So you pick and choose on certain levels, right? Like you got your Sephiroth, and you're probably going to get that Cloud, right, with the bike.
Yeah, I am getting both of them, actually.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? Now that's a cool little one-off section that you can be like, hey, that's my representation of Final Fantasy VII. That's badass. Well, I don't know if they make a Yuffie and Vincent and Red 13. Then you probably get all of them.
Tifa and Aerith, I do know, though.
Yeah, see, so shit, right? Now you got me. Now I need to go get Sephiroth and
you
Cloud.
do, bro.
Fuck. You see what I'm saying? But where do I put them? So it's hard. You as a collector and a fan of so many different properties, you can't help but want to have everything. But you can't have everything. So, bro, I don't think there's an answer to this question. There is no best way. It's just what can you afford and what is your willpower, your level of control, because you can't have everything. But you can pepper in a little bit and a little bit. And display has a huge factor involved too, right? This is all Star Wars. It would look really weird if I had, a Venom sitting right there. So then you have to set up a different display area. And is this display area all Marvel, or is this going to be kind of like some one-offs? Here's a Venom, here's a Joker, Here's a cloud. You know, it's hard, man.
Yeah, it is, because the more you diversify your collection, the harder it is to display, because you do have a lot of different things going on at once, right? So you have to kind of find a way to make it look natural and compelling, even though they're from different universes. But it also requires you to be a little more creative, which makes you engage with your collection a little bit more. So I kind of like that, right? It's like a challenge, and you get to kind of do something a little bit different. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm down for that. And these type of statues, even having this type of display while also having hot toys, that's pretty cool, because people will come in your collection and be like, oh, this is like really cool. You have these amazing figures, you have these amazing statues, they're displayed really nicely. Not that you need to have a smoke machine in the background every time, but that's pretty cool, right?
It helps.
Yeah, exactly. If you can have it just running constantly.
Yeah, man, it helps just sell the mood,
Exactly. But yeah, you raise a really good point, Anthony, about I think that's with a lot of collecting, though. There's no, cause it's an art form to an extent. Like, there's no one right way to do it. It's just we always have recommendations and what our experiences are and what we agree, what we agree on, and for sure. But PDA, it's definitely something that's interesting for different types of collectors for sure. But Anthony, I got one more topic for you, man.
Shoot, my friend.
This is going to be interesting, because this is something I've thought about recently, because Hot Toys because maybe part of the reason is because I see what Queen Studios does. They really value feedback a lot, right? And I've seen some of the feedback that they have been getting for their figures, especially. And some of it is just not useful. Like it's just a lot of it, like everyone has their own opinion, but it's just like, oh, I want you to make X thing, or why aren't you making this? Get this license, or you should do this or make this. And like, I think the hard part for what they're doing is they have to filter that. Like, what is actually useful and helpful for what other collectors feel and what we can actually use. With Hot Toys, more so what I mean in asking for too much for them. Like I said, we're asking for faster releases. We're also asking for the quality to maintain the same, if not better, and innovate. We're also asking for better communication. We're asking for more announcements. Things are, where's Toby and Andrew? Where's Electro? Like, those are the things we're asking for. Where's Hawkeye from the show? Kate Bishop took 6 months, whatever. Like, we're asking for a lot from them. And I get we are paying them money and we are paying customers, so we should have our expectations high, and that keeps the product high. But at the same time, I start to wonder sometimes, like, are we just asking for too much? Like, are we just being too entitled or too aggressive with our demands, so to speak? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think about this?
Yes and no. When I say yes, sometimes there's people that are just I don't want to say like maybe too passionate, but sometimes too vocal and too entitled. Not everybody's like this. This isn't any fandom, right? People complaining about Star Wars, people complaining about Star Trek, people complaining about so there's certain levels of that where I'm like, yo, hey, listen, guys, they can only do so much, and I know you want everything now, and you want to have this your way, and or why are they making this figure? Well, somebody loves it, right? So there's always something there. But as far as what is asking too much, I mean, is it that we want more communication from the company? Sure, I think that's healthy, and they're starting to slowly do that in light of in arts and possibly J&D coming in and stuff that we're doing with X06 communicate. They have to evolve, right? They have to evolve. I don't think they're going to be able to do everything we want, but I don't think we are asking too much. The general population, I don't think is. I think what we want is we want you to stay committed, right? That's one thing for me. If you're going to show something off, don't graveyard it, right? Don't right. Just make it. Don't tease it and never do anything with it, please. Really work on the turnaround time. 16 to 24 months from announcement is way too long. So I think those are the vocal majority, right, of what we're asking. We just want to have figures a little bit quicker and keep the level of consistency. I don't think people are complaining about much else, right? For the most part, the quality's there. And that's why we buy these figures. They're phenomenal pieces. So what else do we have to complain about? I mean, the price, it's going up, but I don't think we're asking too much, bro. I think just talk to us a little bit, have a community manager or something. Just pop in and out from time to time.
Yeah.
Showing that picture earlier, the releases that they do. They only do that like once a year.
Yeah.
It's not really
and that's
communicating.
nice. I wish they did it more. Yeah, that's nice.
I think that'd be great. Let's show some quarterly things or something. Let's, hell, don't even talk to us directly. Just put out a little YouTube video.
Right.
A little 2 minutes, just
Even
something, something.
Even if they had, like you said, an ambassador, someone like what John does for Queen Studios, like that's literally all you need to do. Have someone out there that's like a PR manager, so to speak, that really is communicating with collectors and whoever else, right? If you want to go on YouTuber channels, that's great. But, things like that really would be quite nice, I feel like. And maybe they just don't have the time or the resources to do that. But I do get what you're saying for sure. And I think I pretty much mostly agree that I don't think we're asking for too much. But sometimes maybe I do feel that just because maybe, I don't know, like maybe it's just more so about myself. Like I don't want to act like I'm entitled to anything. Like,
right.
Right. There's a line
example.
there,
I'm like, yo, where the hell's Star Wars? Give us some more original trilogy stuff.
Right.
Is that me asking too much? No, because I'm not going on their forums and I'm not keyboard warring it and complaining.
Reissue Mark 46 on every post.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not being like that. So I'm looking at the general stuff, right? And I think everybody watching can agree that maybe a little more communication with us and faster turnaround times.
Yeah.
Is it possible? I don't know, because they're 130 figures behind. But eventually, maybe they'll catch up, and that's a topic for a whole nother day, man. Can you imagine if they catch up? If they catch up, that means they're releasing.
Our bank accounts are not going to catch up.
People are going to get bombarded, and I think it's going to crash the market.
Yeah, it is.
So
that's probably why they don't catch up, honestly. Because they know everyone wouldn't be able to afford it, and they would cancel a bunch of POs. So that could be it. Maybe that's why Loki got delayed. I don't know.
Really, Loki's a mystery.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example. They could tell us, hey, Loki's not going to come out till the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, let's just kind of give you some reason. You don't have to tell us the inside.
In the
Right. I think it did.
You think so?
I think it's sunk.
Yeah.
Bloop.
And Sideshow was just like,
I don't know where it went.
Sideshow was like, well, you damn sure ain't releasing yours because we don't have ours in the bottom of the ocean. So,
well, because seriously, man, when I called Sideshow for an unrelated issue and I asked them this, she said, "Hey, Loki and Ahsoka are shipping in small batches next week." Right. This was before Ahsoka came out, and sure as shit, Ahsoka got announced. Boom! I was like, "Oh, cool. Loki's going to be right behind." Then, boom, boom, we got this delay till end of the year. I was like, all right, that doesn't make sense. So Sideshow was even expecting their Lokis. So something happened. Unless it was a bad production batch.
Maybe.
That could be another thing. Maybe they put his helmet on backwards on, 8,000 figures. And they were like, oh, or something. And they got to do a whole rerun. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. Because Anthony got some really good comments here. Mike Vale said, I think you said as paying customers, we have expectations and they have mostly met my expectations, just timing they need to work on. Ibu said, I don't think customer service and quality are too much to ask for. If they make a top quality product, I think it's natural for people to get excited about potential figures from the company. For sure. No doubt about it. And then there was another one, Blitz. Yeah, Blitz said, at some point they're going to have to face reality and quit announcing or ramp up releases. The current ratio isn't sustainable. That is true. They got 130 figures on pre-order right now. What happens when it gets to 200?
It will. Because look at last year. The numbers were like 80 something and now we're 130 something. We're not even at the end of the year yet. So, but they're kind of screwed because if they don't announce, they do kind of fall into obscurity. You have to stay relevant. Like some people will still be there because they're like, "Yeah, where's my figures?" But they have to announce stuff. They have to generate interest in the company. So it's kind of a catch-22 right now.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, man. It's such an interesting topic, and I know we could go on forever, but Anthony, I know we have to wrap it there because we try to keep it like an hour and a half. We're like 1 hour 28 right now. So I know
you and I could talk all day.
I know, bro. You and I really could. We probably will. But Anthony, is there anything coming up, man, on Sixscalemafia you want to tell the people about?
Well, yeah, man, there is. well, first of all, thanks obviously for inviting me. This was awesome, man. Doing a one-on-one is great. I know. What is coming up? Well, if you haven't already checked it out, my Spotlight Hour interview I just did with Yost from Jazz Inc. That was really cool. We sat down, we talked. If you guys are into Jazz Inc. or maybe you're not and you'd like to know more, that was a really awesome one-on-one that we did. Come check that out if you guys already haven't. Tomorrow is my stream, which I think we might actually be conflicting a little bit.
We probably
right?
are,
Because you can do this Prime
unfortunately.
1 stuff. But I'm going to have my Saturday night streams, as always, right there, My Tales from the Dark Side, every Saturday night. That's fun. We get to talk. That's our weekly panel. And then Sunday, I'm giving away a Hellboy to one of our channel members. So have that look forward to this weekend. So kind of a busy weekend, man. But otherwise, man, just putting out content. Obviously, perfect. There's some stuff right there. There's some recent things that we've done, and just keep on keeping on, bro. It's fun, man. Come check me out if you haven't, guys. Road to 2K.
Hey,
right, I'm getting
there. You go, bro. There you go. So, man. But seriously, thanks for coming on, man. These one-on-one chats are always seriously a blast to do. And I know you and I did one like way back on your channel. We did it.
We did Spotlight Hour.
Yeah, I forget when it was a while back. It was a couple months, wasn't it?
A couple months back, yeah. A couple months back. And we're going to revisit those too, I think. I'm going to have people come back. Okay, because then we can be like, hey, everybody, check it out. This is Will. Here's a link for our first if you want to know where you started. Because we're not going to talk about that on round two. Round two, let's talk about how's the collection been going? Where we get?
I sold everything. I sold everything. Yeah. So, again, as they're saying in chat too, obviously, I do the video, videography. I make the instructional videos, for X06 for our figures, and I do the character reveal videos. So that's always fun. If you guys like Star Trek, come check out X06 as well. That's a lot of fun. But yeah, man, we'll talk. We'll talk again always. Yeah, always, man. You know this. And Riley asked a really good question. Are channel memberships still coming? Yes, I'm working on them. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do it. But I think for those who are interested, I think it's just going to be $1.99 a month for everybody. It's going to be basically just the same thing. It's going to be probably a couple streams here and there, game streams, this and that, where you guys can just ask me questions, do whatever we want to do, and just channel channel badges, things like that. I created a breadstick emoji that I put in there as the badge, so that'll be pretty cool. It's just a fun way. But like I said, I don't want to get too overboard with it, so I'm just it'll be fun. But yeah, so thanks for the question, Riley. And Ro said, are you doing a show tomorrow? Well, Ro, yes, I am actually. Like Anthony mentioned, it'll be me, Mario, Carlos, and Optical. We're going to live react to the Prime 1 showcase, Prime 1 showcase number 4. So it's going to be fun. It'll be a lot of good fun, man. And it's going to be cool because the girlfriend will actually be here watching from my room. So that's going to be a different type of experience. So she'll be being in support, and maybe she'll have yours open, Anthony, too, for support. I'll get her to open up 2 tabs. So.
Hey, that'll work, man. That's commitment right there. 2 tabs, simultaneous live streams.
Exactly, bro. And BMW, thanks so much, you guys. You're putting out good, interesting content. Thank you. And Ibu, again, thanks so much. Hope everyone had a fun weekend. Mike Fiala, later, Big Dog Pound. And Joel's in the house. Why are you going live at 5:30 a.m.? Because you're in, is he in China? Is that where he is?
He's in China.
Yeah, why? It's because you're in China, Joel. That's why. You know this. And,
get with the program, bro. We're in the darkest timeline right now.
Yeah, I still didn't have you ship Joao, my J&D Joker, to me, my Arthur Flex. So just ship it anytime, and then we're good. But it'll be fun, man. And thanks so much, guys. Collectors Mingle, of course, on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, we're at the Prime 1, like I said, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be fun. And, thanks again to Anthony for joining me, man. We'll have another episode next Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. This is the time moving forward. So it's always a blast, always fun. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. Peace out.